we are waiting for the presenters.
Sure.
Yeah.
ก็แสดงว่าไม่ต่ำกว่าเท่าไหร่อ่ะ
So start.
Yeah. คุยได้เลย
My turn.
Hello guys, good afternoon teachers and students.
Hello.
Okay, สวัสดีต้นบ่ายนะครับทุกอาจารย์ทุกนักศึกษาครับ It's my honor today to be the host for our conference for this afternoon. Okay, so at the beginning, I have to say something first. And so please let every student who will do the presentation this afternoon, please first change your name to the real Chinese name like the list, okay? So please change your name to like the name in the whole list. Your real Chinese name. Okay, and for this afternoon, we will have these turns. The turns one that we will ask for every presenters 15 minutes for your own presentation. Each person 15 minutes presentation. Okay, and I will give you the time limitation. And if you will catch to the 10 minutes, I will send, okay, 5 minutes left. So please attention to your time. Okay, so I hope that everyone can know about this. And second, please everyone turn on your camera during all the process when we do the presentations. Okay, so everyone please turn on your camera. Okay. 请大家全程打开摄像头，并且将姓名改成你们的中文名字。Okay, and then after you finish the 15th presentation, we will ask and invite the two adjuncts to give the comments according to your presentation and your papers, okay? And we will have the talking and the short chat with two adjuncts about 10 minutes. And the last 5 minutes, we will do a conclusion comments and invite another one to come and to give us another presentation, okay? So if any question, please contact me, and I hope that good luck for everyone for this afternoon for your presentation, okay? So first of all, let's give a good welcome for the two adjuncts who will be the charge for this afternoon, and continuing. The first adjunct is Assistant Professor Chalam Kiat. Welcome, อาจารย์สวัสดีครับ
Welcome.
ครับ
สวัสดีครับ
And for the คนที่สอง the second adjunct is Dr. 传承碧คนจริงครับสวัสดีครับพี่老师好
下午好大家下午好
Okay, and let's say the list first, and the first person is Miss 李田苗李 and the first and the second person คนที่สอง Mr. 张旺网章 and คนที่สาม Mr. 玉南吴玉南 and คนที่สี่ Mr. 郑志源正 and คนที่ห้า Miss 张孟佳张 and คนที่หก Miss 许卓许 and the last one is me. Okay, so it's my honor to be here together with every one of you. Okay, if so, know any information and questions, we will start from the first person, Miss Tian Miao Li. Okay, please pay attention for your time for the 15 minutes presentation, okay? And about 10 minutes, I will give you the alarm to announce you. Okay, if you prepare already, you can share your screens, and we'll order to listen for you. Okay, Tian Miao, if you are ready, you can start and share your screen cap. Tian Miao, Li Tian Miao, can you hear me? Okay, if you are ready, please, you can start and share your screen.
คนไหนที่จะนำเสนอ
Li Tian Miao. Okay, you can start.
ต้องเปิดไมค์ให้คนเขียนเหนียวคนผู้หญิงคน
You don't allow her to. Okay, Cap, please wait for minutes. Because the system cannot allow her.
Okay.
Okay, we can hear you, Cap. Okay, good luck for you.
Thank you, Keke. Good afternoon, Ajahn. Good afternoon, every classmates. Keke, I can't share my screen. I can't share my
Okay,
screen.
please wait for minutes. Our technical man is repairing it. Okay, for everyone, please change your name to the Chinese name, the real Chinese name, and please turn on your camera, all the process. Okay, please try now. You can share Can you share?
Okay.
Okay, ได้แล้วครับ
This is my paper title. My paper title is A Study on the Historical Evolution of Land Guard Worship Rituals in China and Thailand. First, I will talk about my main contents of my PowerPoint. I divided my PowerPoint about 6 parts. The first is the research of my paper's key VE. The second is the research theory of my paper. The third is research method. The fourth is conceptual framework of my paper. The fifth is reference. And the last part is a research summary of my paper. First part, I will talk about my my paper's key. I chose the key is Land Guard Worship Rituals. The Land Guard Worship Rituals belong to the traditional national culture. In people's production and life, there is believed that the Land Guard can protect the life of people and their livestock, and bless that and bless their crop with God harvest. We have collected and studied the Land Guard worship culture, which play a positive role in strengthening and protecting national traditional culture. In my paper, I chose 2 areas for comparative study. I chose in China. I chose the Lu village. There is in Nanning City, Guangxi province of China, and in Thailand I chose the Minching village in Chiang Mai of Thailand. Due to different regional cultural difference, although local residents all have their beliefs, habit, and land guard, they also have many different sacrifice and various rituals. re-recording and compare the common feature and different features. My V is the historical evolution. So I research my paper have a timeline. I divided 4 periods. The first is ancient China from 202 BC to 1931. The second period is modern China. It's since 1949. And the second period is ancient Thailand. It's from 1996 to 1892. And the last period is modern Thailand. It's since 2019. Next part is the research theory of my paper. I use 2 series to carry out analysis and research in my paper. The first series is symbolic anthropology theory. It belongs to the school of cultural humanity, which regard culture as the symbolic system composed of symbols and meanings, and interpret local culture in detail by means of freedom and other long-term research methods. And the second series is functionalist theory of humanity. It looks at how much social feature, custom, practice, and so on contributes to a stable and system was desired. Herbert described that their part was such as organ of human body, and to make the body work well. I use this theory to analyze the historical change of the traditional culture and the worship to the land god between the Chinese and Thai people. This is my third part is the research method. I use two methods. The first is the literature, and the second is interviews. At last December, I went to Weizulu village in Nanning City, Guangxi province. Weizulu village is a local in the northwest of Nanning City. There have well-known land god worship rituals. So I collected some local information at their village. The fourth part is my conceptual framework. This is my paper's title, and this is my paper's main contents. And I use this two research method and two research theory to analysis. So have some conclusion of my paper. In the end, I came to some new conclusions. This part is my reference. I have found 30 Chinese literatures, among which there have 5 literature on Chinese traditional culture and 1 literature on Thai traditional culture, and 7 papers on comparative culture between the Thailand and China. And this literature are reference value of my paper's writing. The last part is my research summary. I conclusion 3 parts. The first is although the Zhuang people of China and the Thai people of Thailand exist in different countries, the traditional culture of the 2 natural is influenced to vary degree from various aspects. And the second is under the intervention of modern social and policy forces, the sacrificial activities of the land guard worship rituals of the 2 peoples adjust and integrate themselves and took 1 new forms. The third is this study add a new aspect to the comparison of traditional culture of the 2
Okay,
countries.
5 minutes left. 5 minutes left.
And protective ones against at the Zhuang people of China and the Thai people of Thailand. I have a screen of in history and proving that there are people of the same route. This is a very important find because the people in Zhuang and in Thai have their same route. This is my own content. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, Tian. Okay, now let's come to the second part to welcome Ajahn, skip all comments and have a short discuss for your part. And for each Ajahn, we will have 5 minutes to asking questions and talking with the students. Okay, okay, Ajahn เชิญครับ
Me first.
อาจารย์ครับ
Okay, ครับ Thank you very much for your presentation. The topic is very interesting for me and very attractive because about the culture, we know that we have the same culture of the same route or the same route as we know. For example, what we call the land god. We know that land is important for us. What I want to see is that in your abstract, you mentioned everything, but I would like to know about the research too. It means that in your study, you have the interview and what kind of interview and about the result of the study. The research too, it means that you interview what kind of persons or how many person you interview, something like that. As for your comparison of the 2, what I call the 2 kinships, very interesting because as we know that Zhuang people and Thai people, especially in the north of Thailand, it may be that they have the same culture. For example, we try to track the kinship by language for the Zhuang language and the Thai language or the Thai Kadai, something like that, as I know. So my question is about the research too and the result of the study. What will you do after your study? It means that, okay, it's good to compare with the 2 cultures and to make know for people. But in the future, what will it affects in the big area. Okay, that is my question. Okay, I give my my speech to อาจารย์ Dr. ชวน
ครับ thank you ครับอาจารย์所以你要先回答那位老师的问题吗 I think maybe you have to answer the question first or
I have do some interview to Guangxi province about this research and in the at this time the local people in that place they still have the land guard worship rituals. I don't know.
And in Chiang Mai, did you interview someone in Chiang Mai in Thai setting?
Not in Chiang Mai, in Chiang Mai city, but in China, I go there. I went there.
And I appreciate your stories about the land god in China and in Thai, Saan Prapum. I appreciate them, both of them. Thank you very much.
Good. Okay, so I will continue for asking the question. 可能我问的问题会比较尖锐一点哈，请你做好准备接招啊。第一个问题 ，the first question, did you do the research by yourself?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I checked your research last night. I found there is one of the reference which is similar with your title. 中国壮族与泰国傣族土地神祭祀仪式的比较研究，陈慧，广西民族大学2007硕士论文。
Yes.
Yes, and then I found that your abstract is similar with that abstract.
Yes, because in my research, there have many different about his paper.
Yes. Okay, another question. You don't need to answer me right now. Another question. Is this research a part of your thesis?
It's part from my.
Is this research a part of your thesis or yes or no?
Part from my.
这个你的这个文章是你的论文的一部分吗？
A little because my research is about the Thai Chinese.
Oh, Thai Chinese, okay.
Culture. So I need some field work to go to about the Guangxi and Guangdong province because.
So you focus the research for your thesis. You focus the research in China, mainland China.
Now.
Thai Chinese, right?
Yes, Thai Chinese.
Okay. For the abstract, you mentioned about the big tradition and the small tradition dualism theory. What is this? In your abstract, you mentioned about big tradition and the small tradition dualism theory. What is that?
Big tradition. Sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, you wrote your abstract, but you do not know where is it. We don't call big tradition, we call great tradition and small tradition. So when you do the translation, be very careful. Do not use the Google translation, okay?
Okay, I can understand. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. And
It's
then and then for the keywords, you look at your keywords. You look at your keywords. The
Yes.
keywords should be a short vocabulary, not a whole sentence. Okay? Should be
Okay.
3 to 5 vocabularies, not a whole sentence. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. And the format of your research is a totally not very academic way. Okay? And I follow by the Ajahn. He asking about your research methodology, and you mentioned about the symbolic ethnography, how you connect your research tool, research method with the symbolic ethnographic. As you said, you are using this theory. How are you going to connect with this one?
Theory.
Yes, in your abstract and then also in your presentation, you mentioned about the symbolic ethnographic as one of the functionalism human school theory. You're going to use this one to do the comparison. And then, but the research method, how are you going to apply this kind of things connecting with this symbolic ethnographic?
Because I think says Chinese local people culture and Thailand local people cultural need to use the as a theory theory to analysis because it's very useful theory.
Yes, but I know it's a very useful theory, but you have to know how to use your research methodology to connect with this theory, to dig out the information you need. That is your outcome of the research. And also, may I see your conceptual framework? Please go to your conceptual framework, please.
Sorry, Ajahn, 10 minutes left. Sorry, Ajahn.
Okay, I'll use 2 more minutes. Can I see your conceptual framework? 你可以去到你的那个框架结构那里吗？对 ，OK， 第9页。Okay, so I would like to inform you the conceptual framework is not like this. The conceptual framework should be the connection with the concepts. Yeah, each concept connecting with the other concepts and go through the framework, not the process, not step 1, step 2, step 3, and then come to the conclusion. 我跟你说一下哈，你的 conceptual framework 是有很严重的问题的。首先，第一个 conceptual framework 你可能没有理解 conceptual framework 是什么。conceptual framework 是由许多个不同的同一个集群的概念组成，并由这些概念来进行寻找之间的关系，并不是第1步、第2步、第3步、第4步是什么。OK。然后你的 reference 那里 and your reference you should follow the APA6 style, OK？ 还有你的这个第5部分的 reference 应该放到最后。你这个 reference 应该放到你的 presentation 的最后，也可以不用写，好吗？然后你的 reference 在你的文章当中的 reference 应该是 A、B、C、D。一直从 A 到 Z 这样的排列，并不是说谁先出现就用谁，谁第2个出现用谁，好吧？你现在是读第几年的？
第2年。
第2年博士是吗？
对。
OK， 得加油哈！你的 QE 过了吗？
过了。
OK， 我会持续关注你的毕业论文，谢谢。Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Ajahn. Thank you, Tian. It's very good presentation. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, because we have the time limitation, so let's come to the second person. Okay, please stop sharing your screen. Okay, and the second person is Mr. Wang Zhang. Zhang Wang, Mr. Wang Zhang. Zhang Wang. Okay, Zhang Wang, if you're ready, you can start. The same 15 minutes for the presentation and 10 minutes for Ajah's comments. Okay. Zhang Wang, you okay? If you okay, you can share your screen and start to presentation.
Hi, everyone. Sorry for that. I'm Chonghao Zhang. I'm Wang Zhang's sister, and as my brother's in the hospital, so I will make the presentation for him. And he worked very hard to prepare for this presentation and cherished this opportunity. So I'm very sorry for this situation, and if you allow me, I will start the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. And we bless he could recover soon. Okay. Okay, 15 minutes for your presentation. Okay, if you are ready, you can start. And share
Okay.
your screen.
Just wait a second. I'm trying to share the screen. Okay. Can you see the screen sharing? Then
Yes. Okay.
yeah, I will start now. First of all, let me introduce the authors. Wang Zhang, he's a PhD from the Faculty of Fine and Applied Arts, Department of Culture, Fine Arts and Design. And now he's also working in Shanghai University tutors. Today, the topic is the tourist experience of the terracotta warriors scenic zone. I bet that here's the scene that you've experienced during your travel. There are a huge crowd of people with no professional interpreters to explain the history and background of the spot, and it is inconvenient to get there. These attractions are actually historic and desirable, but the facilities couldn't match up with the attractions. Thus, it will be undercut for tourists. And these bad tourist experiences has bad impacts on tourists and also has a negative effect on the sustainable development of the scenic zone. The definition that I mentioned, tourist experience, it refers to the process in which a tourist changes and adjusts his or her own mental state structure through contacting with the outside world. And it is an orderly process through watching, spreading, imitating, and consuming in tourism. It has 5 aspects, which includes entertainment, education, escape, aesthetics, and empathy. In order to create a comfortable and unique travel experience for the tourists, we should follow the principles of diversity, participation, authenticity, and challenge to shape the tourism product. And with the rapid development of tourism, tourist experiences is becoming more and more important to tourism destinations. So it is necessary to study tourist experience. I've been to one of the world's 8 wonders, which is the terracotta warriors of Emperor Qin Shi Huang in Xi'an, which has a stable and mature tourist market, but the tourist experience is unsatisfying. For the sustainable development of Qin Shi Huang and terracotta warriors scenic zone in Xi'an, this paper analyzes the tourist evaluation and puts forward some suggestions. And here is the framework of the paper. I will introduce background and significance, introduction to the terracotta warriors scenic zone, analysis of the Terracotta Warrior Scenic Zone, analysis of tourist experience, development and improvement of the Terracotta Warrior Scenic Zone, and finally, the conclusion. First of all, this paper introduces the situation of the scenic zone. As you can see, the Terracotta Warrior 31 kilometers east of Xi'an. As we all know, the ancient Egyptian pyramids are the world's largest above-ground royal tombs, and this one is the world's largest underground imperial tombs. Here is the picture of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, and it includes the Museum of the Terracotta Warriors of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, the Scenic Hotel, the Scenic Restaurant. It shows the picture of the tomb. We can see the tomb is a 1987. The Terracotta Warriors Museum in Xi'an was added to the UNESCO World Heritage List. Up to now, the Qin Shi Huang Palace Museum receives 9 million visitors annually from home and abroad. That's a huge number. Here are some pictures of the warriors in 2014 to 2019. The number of visitors to the Terracotta Warrior Scenic Zone in Xi'an is shown in this table. And you can see the information comes from the official website of Xi'an Terracotta Warriors Museum. Then according to the data, we analyze the advantages and disadvantages of the Terracotta Warrior Scenic Zone from 5 aspects of tourist, which are tourism products, tourism services, tourism interpretation, tourism accessibility, and tourism stakeholders. The tourism products and food service facilities and visible like signs are like. The tourist brochures and explanations are adequate, but they still need some multilingual explanation. It is not complete. The tourist accessibility is very supporter services are not good. And next, by checking the comments of 100 tourists on the tourism web.
Your internet maybe not so good, right? Okay, please ready and share again.
I'm sorry for that unstable internet. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen now.
Okay,
I'm sharing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sorry for that. Yeah, by checking the comments of 100 tourists on the tourism website, I summarized 6 influencing factors of the tourist experience of the Terracotta Warriors Scenic Zone. And according to the preparation mentioned by the tourists, we concluded that the product, tour commentary, number of tourists, destination accessibility, scenic convenience, and price are the main factors. Most of the visitors' comments on the Terracotta were satisfied with the products and the destination accessibility, and but they still think that there are some backwards, like overcrowding, lack of English explanations, and infrastructure and reasonable prices and other phenomena in the scenic zone. These solutions to this problem. Tourist attractions, we should start from the improvement of tourist experience. the commercialization of cultural heritage, and the development of materials and intangible cultural products. Focus on improving the real experience of tourists through learning and personal experience so that tourists can experience the culture without touching them and effectively improve the tourist experience. And second, the scientific management of the scenic zone can be strengthened by adjusting the ticket price, training tour guides, and unifying the price so as to make the sustainable development of the scenic zone. And in the future, because of the rapid development of education and tourism, people have fully recognized the importance of education, which makes the potential market of education tourism more and more significant. In general, sustainability is an important goal of tourism development, and the development of the Qin Shi Huang Muslim scenic zone in the future is also carried out around this goal. And that's all. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you so much. And we come to the second part. So inviting the Ajahns for comments. Okay, Ajahn Chen Kap.
So the topic is interesting too because it is about the landmark of the attractions in China, and we Thai people, we would like to visit the site all the time. So you mentioned in your abstract that you will analyze the advantages and disadvantages of 5 aspects. Could you go back to the 5 aspects, please, in your PowerPoint? Could you go back or not?
Let me reshare the screen.
Mm-hmm. So in your abstract, I would like you to add up the 5 aspects, because first to what we call to rouse the intention of the reader in the abstract. I just say the abstract all the time because I have written time to read all the paper. So in the abstract, you mentioned 5 aspects, and after that you have to add up what they are. For example, something like this. So just to make me to motivate the reader to enter into the detail, and it's good to use the tourist experience because it is important for everybody to visit something, and they have what we call positive or negative experience from that. And I think that it is like the other attraction. It means that the transportation infrastructure and the food service facility, especially for what we call the guide or someone who explained, you mentioned in your work very clearly. So what I would like to know is about the interview, again, about what I call the interview persons. How many persons did you interview, the tourists, something like that, and in detail, just for in detail for that. That is my notice or my question for you right now. Okay.
Okay. Well, we interview 100 people, but instead of an actual interview, it is more like checking the data from the official website, the tourist comments. Here. And according to the proportion that are mentioned by the tourists, we concluded 6 of them.
Most of them are foreigner from Western or from Asia.
I think there are most, well, the people who use the app called 马蜂窝, we will have the data. It includes people from home and abroad.
Yes, maybe
If-
home.
yeah.
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 Because if English is their problem, maybe in Asia, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for your question.
Now we're done. So please allow me to continue. May I have your name, please?
My name is Chonghao Zhang. And
Yeah, sorry.
so, pardon.
You what?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question again?
Yeah, may I have your name, please?
My name?
Yeah.
My name is Chonghao Zhang.
And you will not. Okay, as you said, your brother is sick in the hospital.
Yeah.
right.
He's having the treatment in the hospital.
Okay. So your brother, when did your brother make this research?
I'm not sure about that. Maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. So when I look at the abstract, your brother's abstract has 3 paragraphs, which is more than required. And some of the written is like a more oral use, not academic way. The abstract is very long, so maybe you have to suggest your brother to make it short as only one paragraph.
Okay.
Yeah. And the same question to you or to your brother. I searched. There is one of the research in CNKI. The title will be almost the same with your title. I mean your brother's title. And but luckily that your brother changed app's name, changed to 马蜂窝 instead of the trip advisor. And honestly, the content which I don't know whether it is your brother wrote it or somebody else help him to wrote it. It's almost similar with that paper. Yeah, please go and suggest him do not do this way.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is not very good for the ethic way. Yes.
Sure. I will let him know about that.
Okay. And how about the research methodology? Could you please explain a little bit about research methodology? Okay.
What is a research?
I mean the research. How you go and collect the data, or you collect the data from the apps, or?
He collected the data from 马蜂窝 app.
Okay. Really, the 马蜂窝 apps has this data.
Well, it itself doesn't have that, but you can conclude the data. Like yeah, there are some titles that are mentioned by the tourist, and if you conclude that for 100 tourists, and you can find that there are 6 main titles that are mentioned by them.
You mean the comments, right? The comments for the
Yeah.
warriors. Okay. Got you. All right. Thank you. I'm done. Thanks. Just inform your brother to do not use this kind of a way for making academic paper.
Sure, I will let him know.
Thanks.
Thank you for your advice. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, and thanks for others' comments. Okay, if you don't have any questions, we will come to the second person. Okay, and I have to say again, we wish Mr. Zhang Wang can become better soon and hope every course can goes on fluently. Okay, thank you so much again. Okay, and we come to the 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 คนที่ 3 the third person, Mr. Wu Yunan, Mr. Wu Yunan. Okay, so Wu Yunan, if you are ready, you can start and sharing your screens, and best wishes for you.
Okay, can you hear me, everybody? Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today, my presentation topic is protection and the development of world cultural heritage. Take Anyang Yin ruins as example. So what I want to research is about how to protect Yin ruins and promote the Yin ruins tourism. This is the content of my research. There are 5 parts of it. Research background and significance, the protection and development principle of world cultural heritage, the values of Yin ruins, the current situation, analysis of Yin ruins tourism development, the protection and development strategy in Yin ruins. So first is background. As the world famous cultural heritage site, Anyang Yin ruins present as one of the most famous early capital ruin in China. Yin ruin is the site of one of the ancient and major historical capitals of China. It is the source of the archaeological discovery of oracle bones and oracle bones inscription, which result in the edification of the earliest known Chinese writing. The archaeological remains known as Yin ruins represent the ancient city of Yin, the last capital of Chinese Shang dynasty, which existed through 8 generations for 255 years, and through the region of 12 kings. Yin ruins was discovered or rediscovered in 1899. It is now one of China's oldest and largest archaeological sites, and has been selected as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2006. In the early 20th century, Yin ruins became famous for the discovery of oracle bone inscription. It is the first documented site of the Shang dynasty capital city in China that has been confirmed by oracle bone inscription and archaeological excavations. A large number of architecture site of the capital and rich cultural relics represented by the oracle bone and bronze ware have been unearthed in the ruins, which systematically show the brilliant brazen civilization in the late Shang dynasty of China and establish the scientific status of Yin and Shang society as history. In the Yin ruins have found more than 110 Shang dynasty palace temple building, 12 tombs, more than 2,500 tombs, scarifical pit, and many of the city, the family of the historical site, handicraft workshop site, and so on. The unearthed surprising number of oracle bone inscription, bronze ware, jade pottery, bone artifacts comprehensively and systematically show the capital of the Shang dynasty in China 3,000 years ago as an important historical stage provides solid evidence. In 2001, the selection of 100 great archaeological discovered in the 20th century of China by some scholars, Yin ruins ranked first with the highest number of votes. Next, I would like to introduce some representative cultural relics in the excavation process of Yin ruins. The first is oracle bone inscription. It's the earliest ancestor of Chinese characters. The oracle bone inscription of Yin ruins are the divination record of Yin royal court and the earliest mature Chinese characters known at present. The oracle-bone inscriptions are called the earliest files in ancient China. Till now, the second is the Simu Wu square vessel. It's the largest one of the world. The huge bronze Simu Wu square vessel unearthed in ruins royal tomb are rare. It's the most famous bronze sacrifice one of the world. The square vessel is the largest bronzeware of the world. And the third is carriage and horse pit. China's earliest specimen of carriage and the earliest remains of the pieces. So in recent years, with the rapid development of economic globalization and modernization, people's pursuit of material culture and the spiritual culture is improving day by day. The global tourism industry has entered a period of rapid development. Tourism has become the most popular way of leisure for people, especially for China. So I want to point out by 2020, China has became the world's largest tourism destination and the fourth largest source of tourists. Tourism has become the most dynamic and potential industry in China's territory industry. And the second is world cultural heritage sites have become the target of tourism in China. And the third is, and now China is the first world heritage country. China has 55 world cultural heritage. Although the development of cultural heritage tourism can not only improve the cultural quality of the tourism destination itself, also continuously improve the local economic benefits. But cultural heritage is fragile, perishable, and non-renewable. So how to effectively protect the historical and the cultural heritage at the same time carry out appropriate, reasonable, and scientific tourism development, promote the regional economic prosperity of the heritage site and historical and cultural protection is very important. So the significance of this research is cultural heritage resource embodies the unique charm of the authenticity of historical remains and the inheritance of cultural context and the harmony of ecological environment. Second is cultural heritage will bring huge economic and social benefit for the local people. Third is successful case of development and the protection of world cultural heritage site prove the win-win situation of cultural heritage protection and development is not hard to achieve. Fourth is for a long time, the development of tourism in Anyang City, especially the development of heritage tourism is at the end of the Asian capital tourism and heritage tourism in China. For in-ruin site, through the research, it could be promote tourist attraction, social value, and the tourism economic value of in-ruins. Second part is the protection and development principle of world cultural heritage. So for cultural heritage, there are following three characteristics. First is non-renewability. Second is irreplaceability. Third is scarcity. Cultural heritage is the product of a specific historical period. Is the cultural accumulation of human adaptation, transformation of nature, and self-improvement. Therefore, the soul of cultural heritage is its original nature and authenticity. And it is the soul of original authenticity that makes cultural heritage irreplaceable and irreplaceable. Once lost, it will be lost forever. Therefore, the protection and the development of cultural heritage must be carried out under the general premise of adhering to protection first and the rational development second. So the principle of cultural heritage protection and the development can be specifically divided into the following aspects. First is the principle of authenticity. Second is principle of integrity. Third is a principle of sustainability. And at the same time, cultural heritage has scientific research value, historical and cultural value, tourism value, educational value, and cultural industry value. For the cultural heritage, there are some functions of it, like the function of historical inheritance and the tourism economic function and the propaganda and education function. The third part is the values of in ruins. For World Cultural Heritage Resource of in ruins, it has 4 unique resources: 周易 cultural resource, inscription of oracle-born cultural resource, cultural relics resource, architecture cultural resource.
5 minutes left. 5 minutes left.
In ruins is located in the northwest suburb of Anyang, a famous historical and cultural city in China. So as I said before, in ruins was the capital of the late Shang Dynasty and one of the birthplace of modern architecture in China. It has been the political, military, economic, and cultural center of China during late Shang Dynasty. In ruins in Anyang has a great value and have a unique contribution and position in the history of Chinese civilizations. Like the historical value, in ruin is the most important existing sites of early capital sites. It's the earliest large scale royal cemetery. It's the earliest known as mature characters. It's the true carrier of the social form of the late Shang Dynasty. And the social value and economic value. In ruins is an important base for patriotism education. It's an important tourist destination in Henan province. It can promote the regional economic development and urban and rural construction. And third is the scientific and artistic value. It is the representative of the peak of bronze ware manufacturing in ancient China. Is the excellent handicraft technology level. Is the important model of early Chinese palace architecture. It reached the world advanced level in many fields. And then fourth part is the current situation analysis of in ruins tourism development. From the perspective of tourism, there are still some problems in the development of in-ruin tourism. The problem of in-ruins tourism is following. The existing display means of in-ruins are relatively simple, and the display means still stay at the level of central, which cannot meet the requirement of modernization and the science and technology for the display of the ruins. There is still a certain degree of gap between the display means of in ruins and those of international famous world cultural heritage. The display system of in ruins is not perfect, which cannot fully show the continuation of in Shang culture, the lack of regional tourism cooperation, and the slow process of comprehensive development. There is still insufficient work in tourism image building, tourism publicity, and market reach, lack of tourism marketing. And the next part is the protection and development strategy in ruins. So first, some principle for the development of in ruins heritage tourism we should follow. We should stick the principle of protection first. We should follow the principle of sustainable development. We should follow the principle of authenticity and integrity. And it should be build the market-oriented principle based on the need of a tourist. And we should follow the principle of comprehensive development. So based on such problem, I gave some main measures to enhance the attraction of in-ruin Yinshu heritage tourism.
Please, in summary, 1 minute.
Like the develop night tour market in ruins, develop the experience-oriented tourism products, create a folk custom village of Shanghai's, integrate and develop agriculture industry parks, improving visitor service, build brand image and strengthen tourism publicity, strengthen regional cooperation and build the cultural landscape corridor of in-ruins, increase the development of study tourism market, enhance the awareness of cultural heritage protection. So that's all my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, อุยนัน Okay, อาจารย์เชิญครับ
Okay, that is good. First, would like to look at the topic, the title of your work. In my opinion, you say that protection and development of world cultural heritage. In my opinion, I would like to use an example of Anyang Yin ruins or a case study of Anyang Yin ruin. That is my opinion.
Okay.
Maybe it's good. It's better than to take Anyang Yin ruin as an example, or maybe that is up to you. And in your abstract, it seems to me that you describe much, but would like to know about the methodology that you use it. What is it? Something like that. And yeah, if you
the methodology is literature review and field work, just two of it.
Okay. And in your abstract, you give suggestions. That is good, and we will look into the suggestion in detail. And your description, if I get into the detail, it means that you mention the world cultural heritage and give the example or the criteria for the types of world cultural heritage, and give the principles, the 3 principles for it. But I don't know whether maybe I missed the detail. It means that what is Yin ruins in this area, or I would like to know about this in detail more than that. It means that how the WH World Cultural Heritage took it, and what is it in this area, something like that, and maybe more than that, in my opinion. And it seems that you mentioned, or you want to message just only for the people in this museum to do this and to do that, and that is good. So I assume that these attractions have no, what we call, no night tourist market, something like that. I compare with the presentation before. That is the problem of infrastructure, problem of the price, problem of something overcrowded people to visit. But this is the other problem. It means that the problem of promoting. And you mentioned agricultural industrial park. I would like to know in detail about this. So when you write something about this, you have to, what we call, explain more than that. Because now my role is the outside in. It means that I don't know, I would like to visit this, and I want to know about the details of this place, and it will be significant if we get into detail about something like this. I don't know whether you get my remarks or not. That is my opinion about this. Okay, I give Ajahn Dr. Chuan Chun.
Thank you.
ครับผมอาจารย์ thank you ครับ so thank you so much for the presentation. I also have several of the questions to ask you. I agree with Azan for the title. Maybe you can use like the case study, not using as an example. This is not like a little bit oral.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
like a case study might be a more academic way. For the abstract, it's okay. And after reading your abstract, I feel very interested with your paper. Then I go into the detail for the research I found. I would like to ask you, what is your research method? The question which you answered to Azan, which you use the literature review and also the field work.
Yes.
What kind of a data collection that you're using in the field work?
I have been visited the in ruins museum and to do some research in it. Just like from opening it field work like that.
Oh, no. I actually have to understood the field work in here, especially for the how we say, after you go there, what kind of a tool that you're using? For example, interview, observation, or the questionnaire or something. What kind of things you're using to asking the people?
No, just the observation.
Just
No
observation.
Yes, no.
You're not
any
talking to
interviews.
anyone.
Yes, through the innovation and from my own opening.
Okay. So again, please, from
my
your
own experience.
From your own experience. Okay, from
Yeah.
your own experience. Okay, you mentioned about you're using the literature review, right?
Yes.
In Chinese we call 文献综述是吗？文献法。
基于文献的一些，因为有很多研究是研究这个 World Culture Heritage， 然后也有一些是 in ruins。
有一位学者叫李建军，你有没有看到他的文章？
我看到了，对。
你看了是吗？
对。
也引用了一部分。
是的。
但是你并没有在你的 reference 当中写出来哦。
没有吗？哦。
有吗？好像没有哎。等一下，我看一眼啊。没有，在你的 reference 当中并没有提及到李建军这个人，好吧 ？Okay. And in here you mentioned about two things of your paper, which is one, protection, and second one, development. And you said it's from your literature review and also from your personal experience. So my question will be, how you gonna get the problem for the current development?
You mean a problem?
Yes, because you mentioned about the development problems.
Some problem is very obvious. It existed a long time, but most the problem of the development of in ruins, I do some research based on the literature review.
Okay, so normally you use the literature review way for making the result.
Yes.
And how could you? Okay, and how could you make it like the result that's reliable? Okay, and the second question, where is the protection? And how could you get the solution for the protection? From the observation? No, it should not be enough from the observation. You cannot get the protection. How to protect it?
Actually, this is a paper from last semester's lecture.
Okay.
It's not very.
Okay, this is not very completed, right?
Yeah.
All right, understood. Is this article related to your topic, to your thesis?
No.
Okay. So this is just like an essay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. But anyway, if you submit to the international conference, you have to guarantee the quality of the paper. All right.
Okay.
Okay, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wu Yunan and Kobun Kap, Ajahn. Okay, if no questions, let's come to another person. Point TC, number 4, Mr. Zheng Zhiyuan. Mr. Zheng Zhiyuan. Okay, Zhiyuan, if you're ready, you can start, and good luck to you, Kap.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, okay.
Wait a minute. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, please start.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Zheng Zhiyuan from the Faculty of Fine and Applied Arts, Konkan University. Well, in the process of studying intangible cultural heritage in China, researchers might have encountered in the problem that although both the government and the area of the intangible cultural heritage are making efforts to preserve intangible cultural heritage, they can easily fall into a lonely and ineffective situation. So is there case study that can inspire us? Today I'm going to talk about my thesis, my paper, Ashi Moon Jumping Dancing, Cultural Memory and Cross-Cultural Communication Integrated into Daily Life. And now let's see the catalog. Today I divided my paper into the 5 parts. That is why I did this research. What is Ashi Moon Jumping Dance and cultural memory and so on, and how did I did it, and what's the result, and how and what is the interpretation of them. First part is why. In fact, in the middle April this year, I traveled to Mila City in Yunnan province to accumulate materials for the trip assignment for my course. And one day during my trip, I happened to find the local people dancing in the square of the community where they live. And after interviewing the locals, I learned that they perform this folk dance as fitness activities 3 times a week. And in addition to ethnic people, there are also many Han ethnic people who participate in this dance. This is something you rarely see in Chinese society nowadays. Therefore, this kind of cross-cultural phenomenon aroused my interest. So I have investigated transmission intangible cultural heritage in Guangxi before. So most of them are in a lonely and ineffective situation. So I think this kind of phenomenon in Milo City may be a reference for us to preserve the heritage, to protect the intangible cultural heritage. And this is during the trip I saw today. And what is Ashi Moon Jumping Dancing? Ashi Moon Jumping Dancing is a traditional dance of Mila City, Yunnan province, and on June 7th, 2008, Ashi Moon Jumping Dancing was approved by the State Council of the People's Republic of China to be included in the 2nd batch of the National Intangible Cultural Heritage List. And this dance is most representative folk dance of ethnic Ashi people and originated in the Western Mountain of Mila. In the past, Ashi Moon Jumping Dancing was an indispensable from love and social entertainment for Ashi people, as well as an important vehicle for passing down the cultural memories. What is the cultural memory? A German scholar, James Assmann, suggests that the cultural memory is usually the past the past shared by a social group include both mythical times of legends and the document history. And according to the Chinese scholar Wang Xiaobing, culture memory relies on the organized communal collective communication, and its transmission can be divided into two categories, that is the visual related and the text related. And any kind of the culture can be sustained as long as its cultural memory is still functional. What is the cultural memory of Ashimun jumping dancing is discussed in the chapter in my paper, that is in the second part, the culture memory of ethnic people of ethnic Ashimun jumping dancing. In short, it has three different origins, such as the flame worship and origin from the labors or origin from hunting, and which they are very closely related to the life of the Asian Ashi people and have the common past of social groups. And it has been handed down to present now, and it has evolved over time in the two forms, which is the freestyle Ashimun jumping dancing and the commercial style Ashimun jumping dancing. And how did I do this research? Well, in order to be better understanding what Ashi jumping dance is, and to discover what feature makes this possible to realize that this activity in Miller City, with the participation of people of different local ethnic group, and have such a good cross-cultural communication affection. In the second part of the paper, I discussed the characteristic of the Ashimun jumping dancing, such as the rhythm and the space where they perform this dance, and the functionality, and so on. And it's found that the rhythm, space, and the functionality are integrated into the daily life of local people, and the people have the functions of information exchange, emotional exchange, and social identity in their daily life. And it's because of these functions, features, and that Ashimun jumping dancing can be integrated into daily life for a cross-cultural communication. The study described the field research in the third part of my paper. I chose 4 local residents and 4 tourism that are randomly select for and have an structural interview in the study. Since the 2 forms of Ashimun jumping dancing have been developed in the area, this survey mainly deal with the audience feeling about the information exchanging, the emotional exchanging, and the social identity of this 2 forms of dance, and in hope that audience feeling may lead to an advantage and disadvantage of these 2 forms of dance in the cross-cultural communication. And the result is that the result of study shows that the survey audience generally thought that the information exchange, emotional exchange, and the social identity of freestyle Ashimun jumping dance were better than those commercial styles. And they also feel the sense of real participation when watching or participating in the freestyle dancing. And they feel this sense of, and compare with the commercial styles dancing, they feel that there is beauty in the costume and the music and the formal, but they also feel the sense of disconnection from the sidelines. However, the discrimination of the freestyle dancing has a strong spatial and temporal limitation, and the audience has little chance to participate without the prior knowledge. And the commercial archimon jumping dancing, on the other hand, it's part of one step experience that tourism at the tourist attractions, and basically audience who visit the tourist attraction will go to designate venue to watch the performance. And that's my interpretation. And before that, before my interpretation, I use references from the Ranhua and the Gengshu Pei. They mentioned about the co-presentation, and according to them, their interaction and exchanges of different groups depends on a certain space field, and this code present emphasize that figurable boundaries in the field space, but it also has the attribute to information exchange and emotional exchange, as well as the social identity, and and why the commercial style dancing makes audience feel sense of disconnection from the stylized, as the trend of the commercialization and the professionalization in modern cities is to make folklore activities out of the community life and transplant them to a commercial place, such as the tourist attraction. And after selection and the transformation, the organizer of the activity are also changed from the community members to some full-time practitioners. And apart from the service purchase, the participation of the events become completely just a looker, and as to the core accept of the event have been outsourced, so they don't need to be deeply involved in them. And how
Zhiyuan, can you hear me? Zhiyuan.
I think he disconnected.
Yeah, Ajahn. Okay, Zhiyuan, if you can hear us, please, you can rejoin again, okay? You can stop sharing and rejoin again, would be better.
I don't think so. So maybe, could you please stop his sharing? Okay, good. Maybe he got some technical problems.
Hello, Zhiyuan. Okay, we try to contact with Zhi Yuan, and he said maybe we have to wait a little few minutes. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay.
Hello,
Zhi
can
Yuan,
you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. So clear. Okay. Please continue, ครับ
Which part I was talking to which part? I don't know when I disconnected.
I can only tell you you have the last 5 minutes. Okay.
The last part.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Please pay attention for your time, ครับ
The last part.
I can't share my screen. I can't share my screen.
Don't worry, just try. Don't worry, we can review.
It says the host didn't allow me to share my screen.
你们要去给他授权，要给他授权那个，他才可以去给你们 share。
Okay, now. Okay, now you can share.
Okay. If this part has been talked about,
Yes.
and so is this part, right?
Yes.
Okay. So why the commercial styles Ashimon jumping dance makes audience feel sense of this connection from the sidelines. That is because the trend of the commercialization and the professionalization in the modern society is to take the folklore activities out of the community life and transplant them to some commercial place such as the tourist attraction. And after this, select some professional people to organize the activities. The core aspect may outsource it. So the outsource it of the community life and the folklore events will be moved out from our space of the daily life, and the meaningful expression and the social identity will be lost, and the community members will become some dedicated practitioner, and that's why makes people feel the silence. And why the freestyle Ashimon jumping dance makes audience feel the sense of real engagement. That's because this kind of dancing is happened in their community where they live. It makes the place in people's daily lives and perform in their daily space, and the local and the location of traditional folklore activities is often local, and the activities are held in home and or public place in the community, with the fully integrate this folklore activities space with the daily space and maintain the local and living characteristic of the folklore activities. And during this process, the local people, and the audience, the participation, they can cooperate with each other in the activities and even exchange role to complete this process together. And so the roles of the performance and the spectators are mutually constructed and integral, and they both naturally maintain the sense of the subjectivity in the process of the folklore activities. So the research argues that the spread of the Ashimun jumping dancing illustrated the integration of the cultural memory into everyday space and commercial space, and the important roles of the space in the cross-cultural communication. And from this point of view, the inner logic of the intellectual communication is not only reflected in the cultural memory through some simple rule ratios and activities, but also in the daily life as a daily life space of each ethnic group. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much คุณจีแวนโอเคอาจารย์เชิญครับ
Okay, I'm thinking of asking คุณแต้เขาคุณแต้ did you participate in the dancing?
No, I'm a little bit shy, so I just walk around observation and ask those who participate, and ask the audience and just watch them dancing. I feel very interesting.
And if I participate in the dancing with the what I call freestyle dancing, I can dance it or not?
Yes, you can.
In my style, that is freestyle. That is right.
Yes, but you do better if you want to more integrate it into their life. Maybe you do better to join to dance like their way. But if you are new some like tourists to go their place, you can dance in your way. There's no problem.
Yeah. Your presentation makes me think of 2 points. The first one, I'm thinking of Lambong of Lao people. That is the typical dance of Lao that's stay until now. It means that everybody know that this is the Lao Lambong about the dance, something like that. That is the first point. And the second point is that when we deal with the commercial, that will give bad effect or not. It means that how can we compromise with the commercial and the traditional or the originate style that is important. And your presentation concerns not only individuals. It means that every sectors, commercial planners and official, something like that. Okay, let's come to the abstract. It means that if you would like to point out the 8 local residents, it means that the interview persons, you can change the word or to
okay,
maybe and something like that, because you have two informants to interviewees. The first one is the local people, and the second one is the foreigners, or something like that, the visitor. And it would be reliable if you choose more than that. It means that for your next work, more than 8 people, something like that. Okay, and you mentioned in your work about the theories, the labor, the fire, the hunting. I'm not sure whether you explain in your article or not, because I have no time to read in detail. So that interests me a lot too. The fire theory, the hunting, the labor. It means that if someone writes some kind of technical term or some kind of what I call the significant words. I would like to know what are they, something like that, what they are, something. And so the last one is that if people or community realize the difference between the freestyle, the traditional, and the commercial style, how can people in the communities or someone who organize this will manage, or and then your work will reflect, will give some result to what organization or to someone? That is my question for you. I'm thinking of Full Moon Party of Thailand too, something like that. About the alcohol, something I would like to ask you too, if there is some whiskey or alcohol that concerns in the dancing or not. Okay, my question is quite a lot, but you can answer something like that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for your question very much. And about the interviewer I do is, in fact, is 4 audience and 4 tourists, 4 residents and 4 tourists. During my writing, I forget about it. And about the original of them, I have write in the first part is the cultural memory part, the ethnic Ashimun jumping dance cultural memory at this paragraph, and in their place they are mostly like, in fact, is the fire worship. This part, this original is they're mostly talk about, and about. You talk about to make some interview about the organizer, and because I just have time to go there for only 3 days, and I watched this dance is pretty randomly. I didn't realize that it can has a dance in that square at that time, so I didn't prepare very much, but I decided to go there one more time. Maybe next month. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So for the presentation, I just not a question, just some comments. As we all know that the ethnic dancing, they merge from the everyday life, their movement and something, and also like a cross-cultural communication in between their daily life. So your topic, I think, is really nice. It's really nice, and just a little bit a small kind of things like in the page number 6, you mentioned about for this research, you have several of the questions. What kind of cultural feeling are generated by freestyle and commercial style? Could you please explain a little bit about what kind of a differences between freestyle and a commercial style?
Freestyle, it means that those people dancing in that square I mentioned, they dance the square which the leader have a manager or a leader. They tell them which the leaders play the music, and they listen to which part of the music they will dance, which part of the dancing, and they don't have an organized. It's just the leader want to play which part and they dance which part, and but commercialization, commercial style is different. They have a kind of the performance list. They can only dance which part. Yeah, that is.
Okay, because when I saw you writing the questions, I feel like, oh, because I've lived in Yunnan for over 15 years. So when you're talking about the freestyle and the commercial style, which come into my mind is in Sipsongpanna, in a Dai Park. They have the dance, Dai dance for the tourists. Yeah, I think it's kind of a commercial style, but as you mentioned, they have the dancing list. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
And another thing is just a suggestion. Still in this page, the last sentence of this page: 8 local residents or foreign visitors. What is the meaning by foreign visitors? Is that foreigners or outsider maybe?
Yeah, it's in fact it's just tourist.
Yeah, so you just make like if you want to use the stakeholder as the concept, then you have to maybe change the vocabulary. Foreigner, foreign visitors, which makes me like, oh, they are the fala, the foreigners.
Right.
All right. So you're from Yunnan, right?
No, I'm from Guangxi.
Ah, okay. So it's very by accident that you go visit there. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And I want the other students to listen and look at your references. The style is very nice. For the APA style, for the references is very nice. They should learn from you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Zheng Zhiyuan, and ขอบคุณครับอาจารย์ Okay, if no questions, we just come to the next person, คนที่5 Miss Zhang Mengjia. Miss Zhang Mengjia. Okay, Mengjia, if you
Yes.
15 minutes for your presentation. Okay, best wishes for you, ครับ
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, okay, you can start.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My Chinese name is Mengjia Zhang. My Thai name is Fon. My topic is a study on the function of the totem culture of the Zhuang nationality and the modern symbol. Zhuang is one of Chinese minority nationalities like Yao ethnic group. And next page is my paper's content. There are 4 parts in my presentation. And the first part is definition of terms. Number 1 is totem. Totem is a cultural symbol. The use of totem to express myths and folk custom is the earliest cultural phenomenon in human history. Dragon totem is the representative of the Han Chinese, originated in the Stone Age more than 8,000 years ago. Dragon totem also as a symbol to show strength and power in China. Next is totem in Zhuang. The totem of the Zhuang people is the frog. Frogs are believed to bring rain and good harvest in Guangxi province. And next page is the modern symbol. Modern symbol, you can call this logo. Logo is a kind of graphic communication symbol which express or symbolize something with concise and clear modeling, pattern, text, and color. You can see the picture. The picture shows the WWF's logo. You can see there is a panda. The panda is known to be an endangered species. So the WWF used the panda as a symbol to showcase its philosophy, protecting the world's biodiversity. And next page is function. It means mix. The things with different meaning are fused together, and the things after the function will have a new characteristic and unique meanings. You can see the picture on the left shows the combination of Airbnb's logo, which is combined of several different meanings. You can see the picture shows people, place, laugh, and finally words Airbnb. And next part is my study objective. There are 3 objectives in my study. First, I want to explore the feasible method of applying Zhuang's totem elements to modern symbol design. And next, I want to let people better understand and protect totem culture. The last one, I want to encourage people to create an excellent symbol with both Chinese characteristics and a sense of modernity. And next page is my scope of study. The study totem and symbol designs, I will begin with 3 points: shape, significant, and mirth. I will base to start with design principles, and I choose drum, a totem of drum to start my research because it has unique features different from other totems in China. According to semiotics, they all mean something. So next is my research significance. I want to arouse people's attention to traditional culture and show a good thing to study other the totem of ethnic minorities logo design, even others similar type of cultural totem logo design. And next part is my research process. And this page I showed my significance. It's my framework, sorry. In this page, I will use 2 series to explain my study, and there will have 3 examples in my study. And next page is my study process. I base on the previous principles. I summarize the design steps. First is clean to totem inset. Next is reference totem symbol. And the last one is refactoring totem symbol. And next page, I will use the example to expand my study. I use the logo of Huaxia Bank as an example. It used the image of a dragon totem and the image of an Asian Chinese coin and credit card chip to form the symbol, shows the rich cultural heritage of Huaxia Bank. And the last part is my research summaries. I hope my study will give a new look at Guangxi traditional totem elements, so as to bring a new atmosphere to modern local design, to create both characteristic and a sense of modern excellence logo. And last page is my reference. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much 孟佳 thank you so much Okay อาจารย์เชิญครับ
ครับสวัสดีครับคุณพงษ์จ๊ะคุณฝน
สวัสดีค่ะ
Okay. Very interesting for your work because we have to go back to know about the totem or the symbol, something like that. Just for maybe kidding, just to argue, if you have to use the symbol or the totem for yourself, for you, what kind of symbol will you do it? Will you write? Will you make it?
I think maybe is used for some communication or a compliment.
Mm-hmm. What is the drawing of the animal, or maybe the rain is like your name in Thai or something like that? As for me, I tell you, as for me, I in the past I would like to use the maybe Nobita, something like that, because I think of him. And for you?
I want to use the animals totem like a frog, like this.
Mm-hmm. So as for your topic, it's good. In my opinion, it's good. A study on the fusion of the totem culture of the Zhuang nationality and the modern symbol. It means that you begin from the fusion, and after that, you go to the totem culture of Zhuang and then the modern symbol. in your abstract, you begin with, if I understand well, you begin with logo, totem worship, totem culture, something like that. That paved the way for people to understand, people like me who know nothing about this. Okay, but what is the conclusion? The conclusion in your abstract, it means that you have to write at least 2 or 3 lines just to motivate my intention to read it. Okay, and after that, it is quite good. You have the research background, definition of totem, and it makes me understand and to follow you, especially to see the picture of the company or something like that, of the bank or something, because that is very interesting to see some company use some kind of symbol for them. I mentioned to the students all the times about Nike, something like that, to show, not to be big, but to impress. And that is my first point about the conclusion in your abstract. And let me see it. Okay, it means that I understand very well about your explanation of what I call the hierarchy or something like that, from the first one to the second one, the third one. But in that is the French style, say something good and after that, but something like that. But what will it be effective for people? It means that for Zhuang or for the community, what will be effective? For you have to specify the person or the organization, something like that. That is very important. Secondly, if you could do it, you can give the what I call expand the significance of the frog or something like that, because the frog on the drum, that is not only Zhuang, it's maybe in Southeast Asia, and you can give more knowledge about this. That is my suggestion. That's for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your suggestion.
Afternoon. I have some questions for your research. Actually, as for me, this kind of things is also new. If I look at your abstract, I felt maybe your abstract is quite long, very long abstract. So you might have to revise it, and also the format of your abstract you also need to recorrect it. What is the research method you're using for this paper? Research method.
Research method, right?
Yes.
I use first is observation. Yes, cause I revealed many desire logo. Most are in China, and others come from I search by Google and Peter is a website about logo and pictures, and next I read some reference this book read some book which talk about how to design. For example, I read a book about design through discovery. This book is written by a majority. This author comes from American. This book shows how to design and how to reform the meaning from the symbol and the logo. So I think it's a very very good for my study. So I paper was reference by this book and others book. I read others paper. Sorry. You can see this in my the last page in my paper.
But you have only 3 references.
Oh, sorry. I
Yes.
forgot.
You said you read a lot of papers, but in the references you just put 3. That may be not enough.
Next time I will write all the reference in my paper. Sorry.
Okay. As follow the Ajah's suggestion, what are the benefits of this paper?
Benefit.
Yes.
I think the benefit from my opinion, I think is to make more people pay attention for totem or local culture. That's all.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mungja and Ajahn. Okay, if no questions, we just come to the next person, คนที่ 6, the number 6, Miss Xu Zhuo. Xu Zhuo, are you ready? If you're ready, you can start. Also the same 15 minutes for your presentation and good luck to you, ครับ
Sawadika, good afternoon, dear adjuncts, dear classmates. My name is Xu Zhuo. My topic is Longmen Grottoes tourism, authenticity of cultural heritage, and sustainable development. Firstly, I will present the brief introduction about my research. My research objectives are to study the current situation of Longmen Grottoes tourism, to study the authenticity of Longmen Grottoes cultural heritage tourism, and to study the sustainable development of Longmen Grottoes tourism. I will explain why study Longmen Grottoes tourism. Longmen Grotto is an important cultural heritage in China, which was listed as the World Cultural Heritage by UNESCO in 2000. It is very famous. It has a long history at a large scale, representing outstanding Chinese stone carving art. Although Longmen Grottoes was the first batch of the top level scenic spots, it has been in the stagnation stage since 2009, according to previous study basing on tourist destination life circle theory by Zhang in 2009. Because of being in the stagnation period, there are many problems appearing in Longmen Grottoes tourism, like difficulties in authenticity protection, overladen tourism capacity, inadequate participation of community, and lack satisfaction of tourist experiences. In order to solve these problems and benefit tourism development, it's necessary to study the current situation, authenticity protection, and sustainable development of Longmen Grottoes tourism. My research framework is in this diagram. Current situation of Longmen Grottoes tourism consists of 2 parts: advantages and problems of Longmen Grottoes tourism.
Traditional handcrafts, let people understand the history.
Sorry. Can I go on?
Yes, continue, please.
Okay. Authenticity protection of Longmen Grottoes tourism involves discussion on connotation of authenticity and a case that disobey authenticity protection of Roman grottos. Sustainable development was started from the concept of good tourism and some suggestions of strategies. Theory and research ideas of authenticity of cultural heritage and sustainable development were used in this research. And the research about my research methodology is mainly literature method and some field investigation is also be used. Next is about my research significance. According to the study, it's expected to find the problems of authenticity protection in Roman grottos cultural heritage tourism and have the deeper understanding of authenticity protection in the field of cultural heritage tourism. The concept of good tourism and strategies of sustainable development for Roman grottos tourism can be expected to benefit its tourism. It is also expected to be useful guideline for other similar tourism area in stagnation stage. According to my study, current situation of Roman grottos tourism can be divided into two parts, advantages and problems. On the one hand, Roman grottos has been the top level scenic spots since 2007, with advantages of policy support, both national policy and local policies, better regulation systems, and cultural tourism development. It held many cultural tourism activities, for example, poetry conference, field trip for students, and combination with local travel festival and local online marketing and so on. It seems like Roman grotto tourism is well developed. However, the tourism of Roman grottos has stepped into the stagnation stage since 2009, whose number of tourists reaches maximum and environmental capacity exceeds the maximum limit. The increasing of tourism income from 2013 to 2019 become more and more slowly. Roman grotto tourism has some problems, including difficulties in authenticity protection, overladen tourism capacity, inadequate participation of community, and less satisfaction of tourist experiences. The first one is about difficulties in authenticity protecting. The process of authenticity protecting is difficult. For example, incompatible or illegal buildings are still existing. The artificial lake and the rubber dam have broken the primitive ecology. Lamb cows and corals are nearby. The improper cultural tourism program influence the authenticity protecting, for example, visiting Roman grotto at night. The second is about overladen tourism capacity. It may cause damage to the scenic environment. The daily limit capacity of Roman grottos is about 13,000 tourists. In fact, the number of tourists on the second day of May in 2007 reached over 35,000. And the number of tourists on first day of November in 2020 reached 75,000. You can see this photo. The photo was taken in Roman grottos. There were too many tourists here. The third point is inadequate participation of community. The surrounding villages and communities have little interaction with the Roman grotto scenic spot. Its cultural continuity and authenticity are also affected. The last point is about less satisfaction of tourist experiences. The intelligent tourism in Longmen Grottoes is relatively developed fast, but there is not enough attention to tourist experience and the tourist experience satisfaction on intelligent service is not very high. The third part is about the authenticity of Longmen Grottoes cultural heritage tourism. Here are some concepts of authenticity of world heritage. It refers to the universal historical, artistic, scientific, and aesthetic values recognized by all human beings. Its principles contain interpretation and standing operation and protection. About the authenticity of the World Heritage tourism, the authenticity of the World Heritage in the tourism context is to reveal its deeper connotation and element on the basis of providing authentic information to make tourists interpret, understand, and appreciate. The heritage will be protected truly after being appreciated at last. So the authenticity of Longmen Grottoes heritage tourism includes the authenticity of historical politics, historical economy, and historical culture. Providing authenticity information of Longmen Grottoes cultural heritage is a key to make tourists interpret, understand, appreciate, and protect this heritage. In history, a giant, you can see this picture, a giant artificial sculpture of dragon
5 minutes left.
Was built in Longmen Grottoes scenic spots, which cost tens of millions of yuan. Finally, it was pulled down because of breaking the authenticity. Different from that dragon sculpture, the case of disobeying the authenticity is more complicated and hard to recognize now. I will introduce a case that disobeys the authenticity of Longmen Grottoes recently. The program of visiting Longmen Grottoes at night has been held to attract more tourists to visit at night, which is popular by tourists. A total of 2,800 lamps and 5,300 meter streams of light were installed for the night visiting program. The intelligent network control technology with sound, light, electric lighting, and media system dynamics and static combinations are used to construct the magical Buddhist atmosphere. People can enjoy the scenery while listening to the traditional music on the boat. It seems like perfect for both Longmen Grottoes tourism and tourists. However, it destroyed the authenticity of Longmen Grottoes cultural heritage. The final part is about sustainable development of Longmen Grottoes tourism. Sustainable development derives from the alternative theory in development theory. Alternative theory advances the limitation of development speed and the pursuit of harmonious development and ecological development. There is a kind of sustainable development way in tourism based on Chinese traditional philosophy appearing recently, which is called good tourism. Good means people should have charity heart and good conduct, which is a standard of which since ancient China. In the concept of good tourism, a set of good actions should be taken by all participations in the tourism industry at all levels. These actions should benefit people, protect nature and cultural heritage, and promote economic and social development. Good tourism contains 3 layers connotations, including value, ethics, development concept, and practice mode. And the concepts of good tourism and sustainable development are mutually integrated. Good tourism provides the value ethics foundation of Chinese philosophy good for the concept of sustainable development. Sustainable development extends the concept system of good tourism from the aspect of technical standards. Based on this framework, the sustainable development of Longmen Grotto cultural heritage tourism should be strengthened and improved by the following 4 strategies. The first one is to end the concept of the good tourism. The principle of protection prior to development and the minimum intervention principle for cultural heritage should be strictly implemented in order to ensure the authenticity of Longmen Grotto so that it can be passed on from generation to generation. Second one is
1 minute left.
Okay, you can see all my strategies about the sustainable development of Longmen Grotto tourism here. And let's move to the last part, conclusion. I have 2 conclusions. The first one is only by keeping the cultural authenticity of the Longmen Grottos can the heritage be better protected and its sustainable development can be realized in tourism. The second one is good tourism, which combines the concept of sustainable development with traditional Chinese philosophy, is worthy of being promoted to realize the protection and effective use of tourism resources in cultural heritage tourism. And so that's all my presentation. Thank you for your listening.
Okay, thank you so much, Xu Zhuo. Okay, อาจารย์เชิญครับ
Okay, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
It's good to visit Longmen tourism, and you will be my guide in the future. Have you ever been there? Sure.
My city is near Longmen Grotto.
Okay.
I'm in Zhengzhou, and Longmen Grotto is in Luoyang.
That's good.
It's not far away.
Okay. Longmen got tourism, authenticity, and cultural heritage and sustainable development. Your topic is quite big one, cultural heritage and sustainable development. Okay. I have 3 points. The first one is in your abstract. You say that, okay, you study with literature method and field investigation method. So you have to explain more than that about the field investigation method. What is it? What? Yes, you want to answer right now? Okay.
And in my field investigation, I spent 1 day in Longmen Grotto area and interview 10 people in all. 2 people is local residents. 2 people are local residents, and 2 people are staffs of Longmen Grotto area. And 1 is security personnel, and another 1 is cleaning worker. And 6 tourists are interviewed. In my research, 4 is inside the province, Henan province, and 2 are out of the Henan province.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I did not know that, but so I go to the second point. The second point is that if you include, what I would like to introduce is that I thought that you just make the field investigation just only for tourists, not for the responsible persons. But you mentioned the responsible persons. That is good because I would like you to correct the data from them too, because we can see their point of view bigger than what we see with the tourists. Okay, and if you study with them too, you can generate more than that. What are their points of view about this? So the third thing is that it seems to me that when you set up your intention to do the thesis, it seems to me that it is like the abstract purpose. It means that to study, to understand, and after that you have for the other persons too, you have to set up the concrete intention, the concrete purpose, not to study, to understand, and to make know, and then to inform or to do something for the people who are responsible for that. It means that your work will be useful more than that. That is my opinion. It means that to set up the intentions, we have to get more than that. But it's good because for today we have visited 3 or 4 attractions. Okay, I classify them into the 2 categories. The first one is the World Heritage. It is the UNESCO or something like that. I am jealous of China. A lot of interesting places. And the second one is about the culture or the traditional or something that is worth visiting. Every places are worth visiting in my opinion. That is my opinion for today, and I appreciate your work about this and hope that you will go back and take Thai people to visit your site.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
My honor.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your research remind me for my PhD thesis. I do the strategic plan for sustainable tourism development in China, in Sipsongpanna, China. So this kind of your research remind me the difficult time of collecting the data in China. Actually, it's a very good, it's a good one. Just a small things you wanna, I want to ask you to revise it. In the page number 2, you said there will be in the last 2 paragraphs, as to the research on sustainable tourism, I will, normally in the academic paper we do not use I will. Okay, and then for the last 2 paragraphs you said the objective are to study and then the research hypothesis are the following questions. What is the problem? Normally we talk about the research question first, and then followed by the research objective. And in here I would like to tell you the research hypothesis. Normally we do not use this word in the qualitative research. Normally we use it in the quantitative research for the hypothesis. 假设假设我们一般用在的是定量当中哈，都在定性当中用。So in here I would like to suggest you to switch the research question first, followed by the research objective. 等一下啊。Yes, and then for 2.2, the problems of the longman tourism, maybe you can make a table. The table might be better.
Okay.
And also, if it is related to your thesis, then that would be a very good one. And you might use maybe in the future you might use the SWOT analysis or tools analysis will be better. And also for the figures or for the pictures that you show in the table in the article, don't forget to put the sources where you get this one from. Because you put one of the photos there, but we do not know whether you took it or you collected from the website. Okay, because that is very important for the ethic. Let me see. Oh yeah, before you do the presentation, I'm very confused about what is a good tourism. And then you do the presentation, I show, okay, so this good tourism related to because when I'm reading your paper, I think good tourism in China, we have a good tourism and a bad tourism. So which makes me very confused, but now I feel understood now. Yeah, and your references is also good, followed by the APA style. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, ชิจัวขอบคุณครับอาจารย์ Okay, if no questions, we will come to the last person. Is me. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Let me share my screen first. ใช่ไหม Okay, please guys, if you listen, please turn off your microphone, okay? Okay, let me calculate the time for myself. Okay, สวัสดีต้นแบบนะครับอาจารย์ Good afternoon teachers and the students. I have to make a short introduction for myself. My name is หยางหวังผมเป็นอาจารย์ของราชมงคลนะครับ I'm the lecturer of Ratchamongkol University and also the PhD of the Faculty of Fine Arts and Congregation. For this paper is a part of my graduate thesis, and my advisor is Dr. Pat Kochapakdi, and my co-advisor is Dr. Natapon Yamchalon. Okay, and today my topic is the roles of the contemporary Chinese speaking opera Meldan. And first of all, let's see the abstract. This is an academic paper on the roles of contemporary Peking opera Meldan in China, which have the objectives of the meaning and development and the significance of that, and also the roles of that. And in terms of roles, it can be found that currently it mainly manifested in the following three: the roles in real life, on stage acting, and of the responsibility. And I will use the analysis of the social change theory, which makes a contribution and reflects the real situation of the Meldan in contemporary Chinese Peking opera. It could also help that. And first of all, in the background and significance, we just talk about the Dan. Dan actually is a word in Chinese. In Chinese, it means the day, break, and the morning. But in addition, it's a general term for all women's roles of the Chinese opera's performance. And we can see that from this photo is all for different kinds of Dan. And as a product of the Chinese folk art and main body for Chinese drama and Chinese operas and the comprehensive Chinese drama, which we have the more than 360 kinds of the operas, with Peking opera as the most influential Chinese opera. And with that, Beijing at the center, it's a national, we can say that it's a national opera of Peking opera, and which contribute to promote the appearance of the Meldan image, which can be said without Meldan, there would no such so much performance and the female roles on stage of the Peking opera today. And we can see this page is for the Peking opera. It's also, we have so many functions and the postures for the performance as is on the stage. And next, we just come to see the Meldan. What is Meldan? In fact, in the Chinese opera performance, the Meldan before the 1949, we just don't have the name to call that. We just call the Lingren or Nanling. But in recent years, with the phenomenon became so hot and increasingly, we just have this word Nandan or Meldan. But actually, it's not a spherical opera business. It's not a hangdang, we just call that, but it's also a kind of performance. And from the with the Meldan for thousands of years history, it just come to perform the roles for women. And we can see this photo is in the ancient times, and who have made a great contributions to the emergency development and the dissemination of Peking opera Meldan performance art, Mr. Wang Yaoqing, Chen Deling, and Lu Sanbao. And we have to mention about Mr. Mei Lanfang has brought Chinese speaking opera to the world and promoted the status of the Peking opera Meldan. And the most famous folk Meldan, which is according by that, and we can say Mei Lanfang, and he has the very big contribution to the creative performance system and for the innovation and development of that in the world. And also there are three performance system, and the Peking Opera instead of Mr. Mei Lanfang has joined inside of that. And these are the most of all famous Peking Opera male masters, and they create a four-man performing schools, Mei Shang Cheng Xun. And so that we can see the male has come to a hot stage for the maintenance of this task. And last part, we just talk about the roles definition of the terms. The first one is the roles. Roles means the role in real life and the role on the stage performance and the responsibility. And the roles can be recognized as the actors of the mind of their own positioning, and how to grasp their roles when performing the roles characters in operas, and how to grasp their real roles in life, the role of their jobs, and from the point of view of that other person expect himself. And the next part is about the Peking Opera Melda, but actually it's still active. That means the person still acting in the Peking Opera acting jobs and devote themselves to Peking Opera of our teaching and learning career of contemporary inland China. And now it is not the simple cross-gender like Li Yugang. Li Yugang is not Nanda. We cannot say Li Yugang is Melda because they didn't join the straight systematic training for a long time. So both physically and psychologically, both are normal men. For the contemporary Chinese speaking opera, we can see this in this article, and actually the situation is not so good, because normal person and is very precious and important. And until now, in the whole China, we can find nearly 10 professional actors who can be the real male dad, and no more than that. So it's very rare, but people just increasingly to focus and be interested in this performance phenomenon. And actually, in this article, we come to separate the male dance to three parts. The first is a nowadays male dance, and at the same time, it also should include the Peking Opera male dance performing actors. We can see these pages. We can find Mr. Song Changrong, Mei Baojiu, and Bi Guyun, but unlucky Mr. Mei Baojiu has died. So we just pity for this very good representative masters. And they are the nowadays Peking Opera Melda, and the very famous for the four schools: Mei Shang Cheng Xun, Mr. Mu Yuandi, Mr. Hu Lunge, Mr. Yang Lei, and Mr. Yin Jun. And Beijing and Shanghai are the main center for them, because we can also say especially Shanghai have become the place of fame for Peking Opera Melda. At that time, bring them the more achievements and influence on themselves. And for this article, I just choose three persons for the comprehensive examples, and I do the interview with one person. And this is the first one, Mr. Mu Yuandi. He's my friend. And now he was born in 1985, and nowadays can be the absolutely the nowadays Peking Opera Melda and in Shanghai. Only him in Shanghai, and the other Melda all in Beijing and in the other cities. And he's the Shang competitors and the inheritors. And the second one is Mr. Bi Guyun. Mr. Bi Guyun is born in 1930 in Shanghai, and very famous Melda master who has performed for Mr. Mao Zedong, for Chairman Mao Zedong and Zhou Enlai. Yeah, we can say it's very rare now, and we can say the rare for the whole countries. And what he has contribution is he has teaching in the Peking opera education, make a very strong contribution to that, and playing a lot of role and make the producing the TV movies and for the Peking opera inheritance and spreading. And the third one is the Mr. Wu Rujun. Wu Rujun was born in 1963 in Nanjing, but now he is in Japan. And he is currently the president of Peking Opera Theater in Japan. What he has done, the contribution is for the part that he bring Chinese speaking opera to the overseas countries and change a lot from the custom, the singing style, and the patterns, even for the makeup ways. So they make a very brief changeable for all of the things. So that's I choose the three representative nowadays. And the next part, I use the social change theory to analyze for the examples, and which is including for the circle theory of that, and people's social achievement that guide by the background of that, and the culture change of old culture due to accumulation transmission, dissemination, interrogation, and conflict of the culture. And after this theory analyzed, we can find that the past, and based on the above the concepts here about the three representative as examples, we can find the result, we can talk the result in shortly, is the first is they have not affected their real life because of their careers, and they can make a good distinction between the reality and the stage. And the second part is these male and actors do not have any doubts about their gender roles or psychological roles. It's more important that they play a role in stage performance, and the roles at this level has two meanings. One is the role of the character in performance plays, and the other is their personal roles, impacts, and they have engaged in a stage performance career. So nowadays, many online artists and even male stars like to draw more attention by using the image of the meltdown, but it also shows that problems of meltdown are also related to society and culture. So that's the main result after the analyze. And the last part, we can see the conclusions. And the society now in mainland China does not have the promote the meltdown, but it must guide the public to understand and appreciate the meltdown correctly, because we can say that without the meltdown, we cannot see the so many magical and wonderly and the wondrous performance on the Peking Opera performance stage, and therefore the image of meltdown and talent training also give the contemporary meltdown a new role of their responsibilities. And for the conclusions from the study of the data and research, because the data from the literature review and the research from the interview, and on the roles of the contemporary Chinese Peking opera, it found all the three roles in real life, on the stage acting, and of the responsibility, which can let people know and enter the real world of meltdown. So if we can see the boys who perform as girls, they are not meltdown. So we can have the basic knowledge to check whether they are meltdown, which is meltdown. And the performance art of that, we can have the ability of the appreciate. For more importantly, we hope that the public will not treat this cultural phenomenon, but Peking opera meltdown is undoubtedly a treasure and cannot be ignored in nowadays Peking opera performance and this kind of art. And there are many aspects worth of the independent study. So I do this research, and this contemporary Chinese Peking opera meltdown, who has made many roles, are bound to gather strengths, both, and held the position of Peking opera meltdown art in the new area. And this is all my some of my conference references, some of my paper reading. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Okay, you have 20 minutes left. More than that.
So early.
Okay, your English is very clear and very good for me to understand. And as I know your presentation will be tomorrow according to the schedule.
Change to the day.
Okay, so first, it's good because this presentation is quite different from the previous, because the previous are about the places or something like that, but this is about the persons, and that personally that make me think of my father. He was from Hainan, from China, from Hainan. When I was young, he took me to see new Chinese opera all the time, and I like them very much. And the actors in the past, the actor that you show, give me the smile, because I would like to see their smiles all the time when they are on stage. Their smile will be like this, something like that, and then happy, something like that. So come back to see your abstract. Your topic is okay. Roles of contemporary Chinese Peking opera meltdown. It means that you use to the noun, the substance, the subs. I don't know the word in grammar. The noun that is good for that cover everything. but if the title cover everything, we have to look at the abstract, and in the abstract we see, okay, you analyze the role of the real life and on stage, and then of real life of the responsibility, something like that. And all the time I question or I mention about the conclusion. There is no conclusion. At least you have to give something in your conclusion part, something like that. Okay. And then after reading this work, I understand very well about this. And what I would like to ask is about your methodology, your method. You say that you use the something literature. Okay. Did you interview some actors in that you mentioned? I like them very much. If you have a chance to interview them.
The person in this paper.
Yes. Okay, that's good, because that will give you the perfect data from this, and after that, this work will be useful for Chinese organization maybe in the future, the organization who promote the arts like this. I don't know whether it still have some problem with the model arts or not, but if you give the detail, that will be good. Okay, that is my observation about this. Thank you.
ขอบคุณครับอาจารย์ขอบคุณครับ
Okay, so for me, even I'm Chinese, Peking opera is quite far away from me. Yeah, which makes me have to read a lot of Chinese references to understand your paper. But the starting point, the role of the contemporary Chinese male dance is quite okay. It's quite interesting. Just maybe the literature review is not enough for complete your research. So maybe like interview or in-depth interview or the observation might help you to gain the goals that you want to achieve for this research. And the small things for you in the first page of your slide, before you gain your PhD title, you better put yourself as a PhD student or PhD candidate. Okay. All right. Thank you.
ขอบคุณครับอาจารย์ Okay, so finish, right? Okay, for this afternoon part, thank you, Adam, for all the comments for every student, and including me. We are so happy to join the conference today together with you to learn more and to know more problems of our research. And for today's presentation, we will say goodbye to everyone. And I have to mention one thing is about the certificate. For joining the conference, everyone can download on the website from tomorrow. Of the FAR7 website from tomorrow, can download your own certificate for joining the conference. Okay. For if any questions, you can contact me and any staffs of our faculty. Okay, so that's all.
And wait. And for tomorrow morning, what time we start? 9 o'clock?
อาจารย์ใช่ครับพรุ่งนี้ตอนเช้า9 โมงครับ Start from 9.
So we were only 3 students, right?
ใช่ครับ 3 students. เจอกันพรุ่งนี้ครับ
Okay.
Okay. So any students, any questions for อาจารย์มีไหมไม่มี Okay. For อาจารย์มี question? Okay. We have to say ขอบคุณครับ again. Thank you so much for your hard working today. Okay.
ขอบคุณมากครับ
Best wishes for you. See you next time ครับ
ขอบคุณครับอาจารย์เจอกันพรุ่งนี้นะครับอาจารย์
เก่งจังเลยน่ารักด้วย